Okay, so I wanted to do an update video here, and apologies if the camera angle's a bit shit, but hey, what can you do? So, I've been struggling with things a bit lately, and obviously everything's been getting down on me, and at least the horrible neighbours have been away, but until 5 days ago, they returned, and of course, immediately they're staying up all night, banging about all night and talking all fucking night and, not letting me get any sleep. So, I've got bags under my eyes again and I'm struggling to sleep well the last 5 days. It's just all night from midnight till 6, 7 a.m. Bang, bang, bang every few minutes. And it's like, yeah, great, I'd love to sleep, but, you're just so rude and you don't give a shit. It's like, yeah, and they made promises and assurances that this wouldn't happen because, it was just because she'd been unwell and had to go to hospital for mental treatment. And then it's like, well, I suffer from manic depression. It doesn't make you choose to sleep through the daytime and stay up all night and have a nighttime life and bang about. And, it's not really like that. But, maybe she has other mental issues with the weird choo-choo wailing that she did all day, every day, and all night, every night. And yeah, at least that hasn't started up yet, but still, it would be nice to sleep. But anyway, on top of other things with the council case where they ignore laws and they ignore all the maladministration and all the years that they delayed in losing applications and all the other shit that they did, and where they had a duty of care to rehome me, and all that's worth apparently 150 quid, ignoring. Thanks to Didnt, I should have remembered the name of the laws, but tort law, tort law decreed that when they have done something like that it's their duty to not only ensure that I'm put back in circumstances that I was in before, through the actions that they caused through their illegal actions where it's been established, they had illegally withheld the benefits for 9 months, and that caused me to go into a severe depression and suicidally depressive. And, because of the person sitting outside my house in the car all day waiting for me to leave so that they could take repossession of the home, and because of that and, all the efforts that I made that they ignored, it led to me not being able to attend job seekers and look for work and do anything. So, I was completely shut off then. I couldn't even attend my dad's funeral. And so, it's like, yeah, great, So, tort law basically says not only should they compensate me for that, and they should have put me back into the situations immediately and not, delayed for years, but they should also compensate me for how I would have lived my life. So, anything that I would have done, all the benefits for that entire time. And also, compensate me for not having been able to live my life, not being able to enjoy my life. And, on top of that, I could claim for a full-time job and all the other things that I could have lived, but I've been fair in what I've asked for. And then compensation again, anything above £5,000 is going to mean that benefits are affected, and it's going to lead to me being made homeless again, essentially. So they would have to then compensate for how it's going to affect benefits in the future, because otherwise they're just going to create situations, especially with the pathetic compensation they're offering, it's just going to make me homeless and I'm not going to be able to afford to pay bills, and they're going to fuck my life over. So, it just means that they should compensate more fairly and better, especially when that's a big trigger for me, that I've lost so many years of my life. That's, something's got to come of it, because they've fucked my life over so much that they can't just not give me anything for it. And, it's not just in the ways that I couldn't live my life and look for work and everything, because on top of it, part of it is, through all that time, there were big opportunities that I could have seen Steph and got with Steph when she was in contact with me and, contacting me, not me contacting her, trying to get back with her. And the times that couldn't happen because I've been, in various places of the country, or, in situations where I couldn't see her, or stuck in the middle of the countryside with not only the terrible transport, but no phone signal, so I couldn't even respond. And then that's a big part of where she hates me from, or did. I don't know, she still does, but, and then she ended up getting with someone whilst I was, because I wasn't able to get in contact with her. And, yeah, so eventually, when I got back to this, and, I think she knew, because it was like, the whole thing about well, it took you a year, maybe. Well, you know, it wasn't exactly what you said, but, you know, it's pretty much, well, you know, you've been back for a year. And, you know, what kept you? And then, you know, I guess I waited too long again, and she ended up with someone else, and then I can understand why. And then that's another thing that's been eating me a lot, it's like losing her again. But, you know, it's just, I can see why she's not responding, but it's like, why hadn't you deleted me? And, you know, me being me, I'm not good at being ignored. And, you know, I've pushed and pushed, and, you know, if I push, at least then I deserve to be ignored or deleted, and, you know, maybe sending me pictures of me with, you know, yeah, it's not really very appropriate. But again, you know, surely it should have provoked some response, you know, if not happy, at least angry, you know, shout at me, be annoyed, block me, delete me. Don't just completely ignore me, you know. Maybe I was trying to provoke a reaction, but, you know, some reaction would have been nice. And again, you know, is it that hard to really message me? And I can understand why she's trying to avoid the situation, because obviously she did still care and you know, we were talking about going on a date, and, you know, we were talking about arranging dates. In fact, we did arrange one, but, you know, it was like the weekend after, the weekend that she was busy and clearly got with this new guy. But, you know, me waiting 1 week too long. Great, thanks. So, yeah, I mean, that sucks the most, that she's with a guy that, all these things that she tags him with, that's so much like me. And then it's like, if only I hadn't waited too long and then fucked it up. Yeah, so, you know, it's just, you know, I don't understand the whole why she just doesn't delete me, you know. Sure, maybe she still cares, or, you know, she just doesn't want to face the situation, but still, if you're just going to completely ignore me, then what's the point, you know, in having me on there as your friend? You know, I don't want to see all of these things being tags of, oh, aren't you so happy with him now, and, you know, and how you're doing all these things, including dates that I suggested we go on. Yeah, it's like, you know, great, you're living the life with him, but we could have been having, you know, the things that we all had in common as well, you know, because, yeah. So it's not good for my sanity, and it's not good. And then now that the shitty neighbours are back, it's like, great. And yeah, don't think that I'm going to be being suicidal as well, because obviously, you know, there was months and months of suicide attempts back in 2012, and obviously they weren't entirely successful. And then I've had all these years of essentially hell and torture for me, and, you know, I've been through all of this, and there has to be something to come through it, because, you know, I kind of, it'd be horrible just to have gone through all of that shit and then, yeah, great, now life's over, you know. It's like, I deserve something to come of it now, and some happiness. And, you know, I thought I was getting that with Steph for a while, and then that's clearly impacted me, you know. I mean, great, all your hopes and dreams and then snatched away. So, yeah, I mean, you know, I'm trying to make things and get on with life, and obviously get on with gaming reviews. I don't need to catch up on proper reviews, because I'm not one of these, oh, I've played it for 10 minutes, I know exactly what I'm doing and talking about, even though I didn't know that was happening. And it's like, oh, well, fucking hell, come on. I mean, all these shitty first impressions videos, and it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. And it's like, yeah, you're fucking amazing at that, aren't you? And, you know, so yeah, it might take me a bit longer to get to the review, but it's going to be a proper review and better reviews, and that's the point. And, you know, I mean, obviously things have impacted me, and then the RX 480, which is still breaking every time I try to play half of the games, is pretty annoying. It's like, yay, great, you spent on an 8GB graphics card, but it's an 8GB graphics card that, if it needs the 8GB, it's just going to crash your entire PC and break it. So, you know. And then, obviously, when it does do that, I give it a rest so that it can, you know, because I don't want to keep crashing the PC over and over and over again, because that can't be good for it. And, you know, it's wiped my Steam library before because of it. Because apparently, if you don't shut down Steam properly, it wipes the categories that you saved. And you know, if you've got over 1,000 games and you've saved them into all the categories, it's annoying to have to redo that. And you know, it took 2 hours to redo that. And no, you know, I don't want to have to constantly do that. And you know, because of the RX 480 crashing again. So, you know, I try to minimise the crashes. So if there are games that are crashing, I avoid it. But then again, there are some games like Aporia and the one beginning with their Syndrome that just don't load anymore. They don't install. They have update pending, but it's update blocked, and you know, it's like weird. Because, you know, I still have the press keys and the press keys haven't been removed. It's just the update doesn't continue and I don't understand. So I can't really get on with playing them. And yeah, I mean, 15 minutes of Aporia, not really suitable to do it. And where I got to in Syndrome, nothing really happens. And, you know, you can't write a review off that, although most people would have, you know, all these first impressions types would have thought, oh, I've played it enough to do this. I'm like, no, it's not really enough to review that game, and no, so, you know. And then I've got to look for proper work on topic, because obviously demonetise and all that shit, because Google is shit, and, you know, it's, hey, we demonetise you while you were homeless, because you're uploading from a public PC, and no, you must be doing illegal things. At least that's all I can put it down to. So, you know, it's like that. When I was demonetised, that's a weird wave sound. I guess tapping on the desk like that makes a weird wave sound. It's like, most things are spikes, but that has a wave. It's a shame I can't show you. It's like a heartbeat wave. You know, I've never seen a sound wave do that. Distractions. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's all I can put it down to, because there wasn't any click fraud on my behalf, and you know, it's like, I wasn't even in situations to do that, you know. I just uploaded on the library where I was home. Yeah, so yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to get on with things, and you know, there might not be that much on this channel because, you know, there's not that much going on in life, you know, especially with being sleep deprived. I mean, you know, most of my time is like half asleep zombie trying to catch up on sleep, and I even lost things I was going to do on the weekend. Like I was going to get out the Warden review, finish that off, and also do a lot more gameplay, and I really haven't done that because most of my time's been spent trying to catch up on sleep and do things, and then there's so much else that I need to do just generally in life, so you know, it's not easy, and I'm still in horrible situations, to be honest. It's like, you know, it just sorts out the neighbour with the ASBO complaint that I put in. You know, they disappeared for months because they fucked off out the house, and you know, they abandoned it for like, I don't know, 5-6 months. So, you know, I thought, hey, you know, maybe they're gone, but now they're back, and it's just starting all over again, so it's not good at all, and hopefully it'll get resolved this time, because, you know, I've got enough shit to deal with, and I shouldn't have to keep changing his complaint with the LGO either. You know, they're ignoring laws, they're ignoring basic laws, and they're ignoring their responsibility, and even in the case, it's like, oh, the council did this, the council didn't respond, the council ignored all this, and then it's like, but we're not going to punish them for it, we're not going to compensate you for it, we're not going to do anything about it for it, and it's like, and you've ignored half of the maladministration, or if not the majority of the maladministration, and all the ways that they've ruined my life, and you've just ignored all of that and left it all off your case because you are on the side of the council. And apparently now that I've heard from someone else who's doing it on YouTube, that the LGO are made of people who are former council executives, so, you know, it's like, once they've finished their jobs in the council, they're given positions in the LGO where, you know, obviously they're on the side of the council, and they're going to minimise council spending because they were council people themselves. And it's like, well, these are the wrong people to put in the ombudsman, which is meant to be an independent body. Independent, hello, not remotely associated with the council, so you can't go, oh, we're going to pick employees from the council to be these people, because it's meant to be completely independent. And it really should have people that know the fucking law, because if you're going to ignore the law, not only EU law, but the law of the country, UK law, well-established UK law. If you're just going to ignore that, and you're going to ignore any clear and obvious proof where the council have fucked up and not even compensate for it, and how much they've ruined my life, then the LGO is completely wrong. And, judicial review, no lawyers will even respond to you because, fucking hell, the government have made it impossible to do anything to do with the council or judicial review. So, lawyers won't touch it, even though it's an open and shut case. So, let's hope that I can find somewhere to do it. I'm hoping that maybe I can go to the European Court of Justice, but I don't know if there are any fees or anything with that, and I shouldn't be having to pay fees for this. So, yeah, hopefully it will get sorted and something will come of it. I mean, all those years of my life that I would have rather lived, and, I could have had at least 2 years with stuff if I hadn't been stuck out in the middle of the countryside. So that sucks and hurts the most. So, yeah, it's not good. And hopefully she'll still give me a chance again one day, because, and I think she still cares, because, I mean, she went out of her way to hide that she was in a relationship, and then when I found out, she just completely avoided talking to me, and just like, well, maybe I should not keep pushing, because, maybe it's hurting her and upsetting her that she did this, but, it's like unresolved situations. I'm terrible. I have to resolve situations, so, I just keep pushing, and maybe that's not good, because I don't want to push her away and ruin any chance of anything ever again. But, I mean, clearly scared, because we were arranging dates, so, it's just horrible that she got with someone else, and, perhaps someone a bit too close to being like me, so, I don't want it to work out. I'm selfish, but, I don't want it to work out with him. I want it to be with me, because I miss her. Anyway, join us again for some more. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.